Coming up, a battle between two Heisman winners as Baker Mayfield looks to go 3-0 against Joe Burrow. It's the Browns and the Bengals, and it's coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League takes us to the Queen City of Cincinnati and Paul Brown Stadium right on the banks of the Ohio River. The enthusiasm of this Cincinnati crowd in full effect a moment ago as their Bengals took the field to the delight of this sold-out crowd. And they're all set as they'll match up with the Cleveland Browns. To my left, Charles Davis. And Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games.
And if you look back to last week, it was all about their defense. Anytime you hold an NFL team to single digits, that's saying something.
Meanwhile, for the Browns here, they come in riding high. Just 1 loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? To return it, Darius Phillips. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. Time to see the Bengals offense go to work. And leading them out, the #1 overall pick in the 2020 draft, Joe Burrow, now in his 2nd season out of LSU.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
The former 2nd-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game as he'll lose yardage to start things out. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. 2nd down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he'll power his way up near the 25.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
A nice first down pickup on a gain of 6. Joe Burrow in year #2, moving around pretty good considering the seriousness of his injury last year. If you're a defensive coordinator here, what do you try to do to slow Joe Burrow down?
I think you want him to be in rhythm. I think you want him to be on time. And normally, you want to take that away from a quarterback, make him hold it a little bit longer. But when he has a chance to maneuver around the pocket, sometimes get out of it, big plays result. I want him throwing the ball on time and then tackling the receivers so there's no extra yardage.
Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. So this rivalry, Charles, here in the Buckeye State, Cincinnati and Cleveland, you felt like for a while it took a dip as these 2 franchises struggled, but now I think this rivalry is budding again as one of the best under-the-radar rivalries in the NFL.
I agree with you absolutely, because both of these teams have the arrow pointing up. They've kind of solved their quarterback issues. They're building up their rosters. But one of the most defining moments of this rivalry to me wasn't even in a Browns-Bengals game. It was a Seahawks-Bengals game. when head coach Sam White addressed.
Now Burrow loses the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. And they are going to take possession of the football inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. And for the first time, here comes the Cleveland Browns offense. Quarterbacked by Baker Mayfield, fourth-year man from Oklahoma.
And while we can quibble a little bit about statistics, to me, Baker Mayfield's coming off his best season yet. 26 touchdown passes, cut way down on his turnovers, and led the Browns to a playoff victory for the first time since 1994. This young man continues to mature as both a passer and a leader.
A first carry now for Nick Chubb. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. In a word, I would say productive, finding the end zone 3 different times.
Is it possible that you're really underselling it? 3 touchdowns, just going to call him productive?
Right. I mean, what do you want?
This guy had a nose for the end zone.
He was good.
Had a snootful, didn't he? How about that? Big-time game.
Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down. A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal. They got the ball in great field position after the fumble, but this defense tried to stand tall.
They certainly are, and a lot of times after you pick up a fumble or get an interception, you have momentum on your side.
And he's in. Touchdown, Browns. Baker Mayfield. Touchdown number 18 on the year. And the Browns have taken the early lead.
Instead of having to play follow the leader there, the leader led.
I like that. And he likes that, doesn't he? 1st and goal, let me do the job.
Because you know when he falls into the end zone after falling behind those big guys who pushed up front, that's a pretty good celebration, isn't it?
Gives him a little street cred in the locker room, too, doesn't it?
Street cred, and then when they go out to dinner afterwards, he's still picking up the check.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. On the return, Phillips. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their 2nd drive. 5-3, their record at the halfway point. And you have to imagine that there are folks saying, hey, if we do that again in the 2nd half, we're 10-6 and we're a playoff team.
I do think, though, that they have a couple of things working against them. And number one, the schedule, that's going to toughen up a bit because they've got some division games down the stretch, and those are always difficult. Number two, you know they've got to stay healthy. That's the key to getting to the playoffs and win.
Oh, a solid stiff arm and some open field. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. Well, that is a running back who was not about to go down easily. He fought his way through the contact until the seas opened up for him.
Yeah, and this could be a sign of what this defense is in for because, you know, all week long the coaches were preaching to the defense, you've got to be able to wrap up against a back like him or he can make you pay. Technique, technique, technique.
And the next-gen stats shows us the tale of how much yardage he was able to pick up after the initial contact. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Here's Burrow. He completes it to Boyd. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 yards that time and a Cincinnati 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 44-yard line. Here's a give to Mixon. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43. The numbers for Mixon last week, there isn't a coach alive who wouldn't like those numbers. Well over 100 yards and a touchdown, too.
Partner, I think all the coaches who are in that great coaching box in the sky would take those numbers.
So dead or alive?
Either way, they would take that kind of production.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 10 yards there on a Bengal first. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, that he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Now this one into the hands of the tight end, Hayden Hurst. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
And I feel a little bit like a traitor as a former defender because that big man did not want to go down and refused to go down. If you're a defender and you don't get the right angle on a big tight end like him, he can run right through you like you're not even there, and he did a lot of that on that play.
They'll give it to Mixon, and that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here as they come up now 2nd and goal. Mixon again, and he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Joe Mixon with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Bengals are an extra point away from tying up this football game. People always talk about one of his biggest strengths running the football, vision, and he found the spot there, went into the end zone.
You're exactly right about that. It wasn't just the vision, right? Once he saw the gap, decisiveness, made up his mind, and about the power to finish the play. Not only did he get good blocking, he created his own space as well.
Gostkowski the extra point, and we are tied here in the second quarter. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And he can't field it cleanly. It's loose. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
Let's go!
Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. Just the one misstep for them in the first half of the season. 7-1 is the record at the midway point. And in terms of whatever power rankings you want to go by, they're at or near the top of the list in terms of best teams in the National Football League.
And for me, in my little bit of rankings here, I've got them at the top. I know there's still 2 months to go, and we've seen teams get off to hot starts and then fade away due to injuries or the schedule or whatever. But unless there are a rash of injuries on this team, I'd be surprised if they aren't a 1st or a 2nd seed come playoff time.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Mayfield gives this one to Hunt. Able to avoid him at the 40. He's still fighting forward. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They run with Hunt. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And he takes it across the 50 to the 46-yard line. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 46. Out of the gun, they run it with Hunt. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Mayfield finding Hooper there for a Cleveland first.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. Pushes him over, and he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
This is unbelievable.
That's on the Pro Bowl guard, Joel Bitonio.
Still first down.
Following the penalty, Chubb. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. That was huge after being behind the chains on 1st down to make this 2nd very manageable.
Yeah, how much pride do you have in an offense on 1st down to get that kind of yardage? Because it actually opens up your playbook on 2nd down. You can run it, you can throw it, you keep a defense off balance. I like that phrase, staying ahead of the chains, and they're doing exactly that.
And he'll get it down this time to the 17. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up 1st downs.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the 1st half. All knotted up at 7.
Let's go.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Play action now. Here's Mayfield. Sliding, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Logan Wilson charging hard from that linebacker spot, and he drops him for a loss of 11.
The competition comes up in so many different ways, and right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week. We just saw their first one of this game.
Some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. Another try after the 1st down sack. Mayfield. Oh, he's hit. He lost the football. Put it on the carpet. And this is going to get out of bounds, so they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well. Can almost see inside his face mask there the look of relief. He coughed it up, but it goes out of bounds. They keep it.
Someone carrying around the lucky horseshoe, aren't they? If I were him, I'd go out and play the lottery after that one. A very fortunate man.
And they're operating in plus territory here. They're thinking points. Definitely don't want to lose the football at this juncture. He rifles one, and it's going to be intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And he will take it out to the 25-yard line. And Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football, because remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing. Maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders. Who knows what it could be? He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on and allowing defenses to get to the football a little bit faster. People steal signals. Maybe sometimes they can figure out what the quarterback's doing just by his movements.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive as they take over with exactly 1 minute to go. And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Second and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Burrow, that's caught over the middle by Hurst. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
Yeah, that's a nice job there defensively to blanket those receivers on 3rd down. And as a quarterback, all you can do is just loft one toward the bench. Not too close, mind you, and live to punt the football.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one. And he can't field it cleanly. It's loose. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. The Browns now going to take over late in this first half. And they've got a little under 40 seconds to go if they want to try to put something together here. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. Pretty fortunate there. The interception that ended the last drive, and then boom, the first pass here almost picked on this drive.
Yeah, I think you could definitely call him to question his decision-making here in the first half.
Certainly not the best of decisions there. Lucky that one wasn't picked. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. Well, Baker Mayfield only 6'1", but he can certainly sling it, and we saw evidence of that right there.
And we often talk about hang time for punts, but in this case, we should probably calculate the hang time on that throw because that one hung up there for a long time and managed to keep going and going until it found its target.
And that one spanning an even 65 yards in the air, according to Next Gen Stats. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Mayfield down. Forced out to his left. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first. The last drive, remember, similar situation. He forced a ball into coverage through the pick. He learned better there.
Yeah, similar to a golfer that's confronted with a shot that you just can't make. Sometimes you have to take your medicine, as they say, right? Just pull it down, take off, and go. Don't make something worse than what it was.
So 3 plays, already first and goal, and they are wasting little time. They'll give it to Chubb, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb, as the first half is winding down, and the Browns have taken the lead. So it was the passing game that got him down here, but closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get them over the goal line.
McLaughlin for the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So that drive, 4 plays. And Nick Chubb, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Let's go!
The Bengals drive about to get going as they'll take over with just 13 seconds to go before the break. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock, and he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Okay, all right, Brandon, thank you very much. Hi again, everyone. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the NFL as we are officially into the second half of the season. We begin with the battle of the purple. Minnesota squaring off against Baltimore. And it's the Ravens out in front as that game moves towards halftime. The Ravens still in a dogfight, but this would be a good victory for them if they could get it. From there, we head to the Big Easy. Check on the Saints at home in the Superdome. And at this point, they trail the visiting Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan, 4 touchdown passes. Finally, we'll save the biggest for last. We head to AT&T Stadium to see what's happening with the Cowboys at home in Arlington. And they've got the lead over the visiting Denver Broncos. C.D. Lamb, a touchdown reception. On to a look at the next-gen stats for the Browns in that first half. And they've had some success on the ground. And with the lead going into the second half, they'll no doubt be looking to keep it going. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they did not have the same kind of success on the ground. They struggled to get the run game going to this point, as you see there. These two teams making their final adjustments for the second half. And to bring it your way, we go back up to Cincinnati and Brandon Gott.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. So here are the Browns to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. The third quarter starts with a run by Chubb. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. 51 yards rushing for him now and just 6 carries to this point. They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they established that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they are leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. A run for Nick Chubb. Trey Hendrickson, the one who gets him on the ground.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
They go with Chubb on second down, and he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Mayfield now from the 50. He's going to let this one go deep. And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion. And Kevin Stefanski going to take a chance, going for it on fourth. Fourth down, Mayfield. And finding the tight end, Hooper. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. Pressure comes, and down goes Baker Mayfield. Trey Hendrickson. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. And just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously, led to a very quick sack.
And it appears that this was just a letdown from the offensive line, but they do have a tough job because if you're a big tackle out there on the perimeter, sometimes you don't have the agility to keep up with the defensive end who's looking to wreak havoc in the backfield, and he got there and put his man on the ground.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Another try after the first down sack. Mayfield, he's going to sling this deep downfield. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Anthony Schwartz. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
McLaughlin now to add the PAT. It's good, and it is now 21-7. So that drive 7 plays in length, and it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. On the return, Phillips. Now a hit and a loose football. And this is picked up by the Browns. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for a Browns TD. Well, that's got to be so disappointing for a defense. You force the fumble, think you got a chance at a turnover, and instead, not only do you give up the football, you also give up a touchdown as well.
Yeah, you just think to yourself, you've done all the hard work, right? You forced the fumble, but when they didn't come up with it, I think they relaxed a little bit or maybe lost their focus as well, and it ended up turning out to be a touchdown against them.
McLaughlin for the extra point. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. On the return, Phillips. Now a hit and a loose football. And this is picked up by the Browns. So they will set up shop. Excellent field position in the red zone at the 19-yard line. So problems compounding themselves here on the return. They just give up the touchdown, and now they lose the football.
Yeah, partner, things are starting to unravel a little bit for them right in front of our eyes. They're going to be looking for some answers, and quickly.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. DJ Reader there on the tackle.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Mayfield looks to throw. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And a good return here as he takes it up past the 30-yard line. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
And he's got a Bengals first down. His good running gets him to about the 44. 56 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying. Now Joe Mixon. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. And now they will throw it with Burrow. And he'll spot Higgins open left side. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. A big pickup of 38. From up here in the booth, looked like he started to make his cut into the middle of the field right as that ball was being released. That's how you draw it up.
Exactly how you draw it up, but you don't often get that result because that means absolute confidence from both the receiver and the quarterback to know both will be in the spot they're supposed to be.
Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Open man is Higgins, and he's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. T. Higgins, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the 3rd. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on 1st and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't recover from it. And you know, they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like their memory was a little too long there.
Extra point good by Gostkowski. And the lead will be cut down to 14. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it ends with a Bengals score. Gostkowski now after the touchdown. He'll send this one away. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now the Browns coming out on the field. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Play fake. Mayfield rolling to his right. He finds an opening past the 40. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
Partner, it's often that man coverage is easier for a quarterback to run against. You get your receivers going downfield. Those guys are staying with them, and oftentimes they have their back to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of space and room, and they don't even know that he's taken off with it. What a big-time pickup on that play.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Browns football, and they've got the lead here as we start quarter number 4. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. He was looking for Landry that time. That'll bring up 2nd down.
I like what they tried to do there. They didn't get a completed pass downfield, but they came off of a momentum play. Big-time gain on the previous snap. Came right back and threw one deep, hoping to catch them on their heels.
And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's going to be caught for the Browns. Touchdown. Anthony Schwartz with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Browns sure look like they're going to be moving to 8-1 as they add on to their lead. So that drive there, CD, a good response, and that might be the one that gets them to the finish line, a comfortable lead.
Yeah, and that's all about not letting the team back into a game because they just gave up a touchdown. It was back to a 2-score game, and anything can happen in that situation. But instead, they came through with a really terrific drive right there that ended in 6. So you like to slam the door on teams. In this case, they're trying to lock it as well.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Charles, this one not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game at 20 points, said that they would need to hold them right around that marker under it. What are you seeing here?
Well, that number is still in play because we said, okay, 20 or under gives them a chance to win. Right on pace for being in that range. And guess what? They've got a shot.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now it's Burrow. Into the secondary, fighting through, and he's got space. And he takes it all the way up to the 47. A good pickup there at 22. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Burrow will throw.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by Denzel Ward. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Following the interception, Mayfield escaping the pressure right.
And Mayfield again with the interception, his 3rd.
Picked off by Von Bell. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. They will throw on 1st down with Burrow. That's the tight end Hurst with it. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Coming up on a 2nd and 6.
Now it's Burrow. That's taken in by Higgins. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down.
Burrow hooking up with Higgins for a Bengal 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 15-yard line.
They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Open man is Higgins, and he's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. T. Higgins, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Bengals have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th.
So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept them at the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
The point after try for Gostkowski. And his kick is good, but flags come in. Looks like we're going to get a roughing call here on the follow-through.
So the extra point good, and the roughing call going to move the ball out to the 50 for the kickoff.
And I think this is a good chance to pin them deep if you can land the kickoff inside the 5-yard line or so. Gain some field position for your defense.
And the Browns are able to cover this one up. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
They'll try and wind down some clock with Chubb. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
And this is an absolutely big third down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Has to. You said big third down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a fourth down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a fourth down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. Mayfield to throw for it on fourth. They'll roll him out right. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively they burn it here with 1:51 left. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. And again, it's Chubb. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. Now the Bengals going to signal for their third and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On third down, it's Nick Chubb. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. 78 yards rushing for him now on 17 carries.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
A big gain there, and that should certainly be enough to put this one in the win column. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Handoff comes to Chubb. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Brings up 2nd and a yard.
So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
So for Cleveland, they're setting themselves up as a major contender as they move to 8-1 now on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to New England to take on the Patriots. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they'll lose an important one here as that drops them to 5-4 on the season. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this as they're not back in action